Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me on Get Your Play Online. My name is Caitlin, and today we're going to be doing meditation and art. So before we get started, I'm just going to get our music on to set our relaxing mood for us. So you should be able to hear that. It's very light and peaceful. Okay, so before we begin our meditation, I usually like to explain to everyone what it is. So the whole point of doing meditation is to practice mindfulness. And so mindfulness is essentially just noticing what is happening right now and how your body is feeling, what you see, what you taste, what you smell. And by doing this, you're kind of just establishing an awareness of everything around you. And a lot of people have noticed that it can calm them down after a stressful day. And it's nice to just kind of appreciate everything that you have and are able to experience day to day. So I'm going to be reading a meditation, so I will not be necessarily closing my eyes with you. I will be reading, so that's just something to keep in mind because my eyes will not be closed with you. So the meditation that I'm reading is by Melissa Dormoy of Shambhala Kids, and it's called Inner Kingdom. So I would like to ask you to take a few deep breaths in and out. Another breath in and out. So get comfortable. If you have to move to a more quiet area, this is the time to do that. Take another deep breath. Go in and out. So I want you to close your eyes now and imagine that you are part of this story. Take in a very deep breath and let it out slowly. As you continue to breathe deeply and calmly, think about something you do well. What do you really love to do? This is called a talent. And we all have something that we are really good at doing. Now, just feel those good feelings of doing what you enjoy and continue to focus on your breathing. Feel yourself getting lighter and lighter. Take another breath and feel yourself rising up higher and higher. Take another breath and feel yourself rising up so high that it feels like you're floating. Now keep breathing calmly and fly through the sky, gliding around in the air. When you're flying like this, if you want to go to a place, all you have to do is think of it. Think about a kingdom where everybody loves your talent. It's a special place where everyone admires you so very much for your special talent. You are like the queen or king of that castle. As you approach the castle gates, you see a big banner that says, "Welcome, we love you." All of the townspeople are lined up on the side of the streets with flags and banners, and they're all cheering for you as you walk towards that gate. Everybody's shouting and saying, "You are awesome and you are fantastic." You realize all the people in this kingdom are kind and compassionate, and they recognize the special gifts and talents of each unique person. You walk towards the gate and go inside. A man is funny looking in a funny looking suit is standing there to greet you. "Welcome to our kingdom," he says. "We've been waiting for you." This kingdom is a place where they really love and admire people who can do all the awesome things that you can do. And since you do things so well, they think you belong here as an important part of the kingdom. All the people here love you. You are a role model and inspiration to every single person here. How does that feeling, knowing this? Perhaps you have a huge feeling of gratitude welling up in your heart. You can come back to this kingdom anytime you forget how helpful or smart or kind you are. And all the people here will remind you how wonderful you are. For now, it's time to go back home, but you can carry all the wonderful feelings back with you and enjoy them every day. Now, I'll tell you a secret about this kingdom of yours. The people from your kingdom, the people who think you are amazing and awesome, are actually all around you. They are scattered about this walking world, so you might have to look for them. But if you keep being awesome and looking for those special people, you'll find a lot of people around you who know the truth of how special and wonderful you truly are. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you to take 3 deep breaths. In and out. In and out. Last one. In and out. Okay, so now I want you to slowly open up your eyes and enter the space around you, whether that's your bedroom, outside, and begin to look at your computer screen. So now we're done with our meditation. You can kind of shake it out. Sometimes it makes you a little sleepy, which is good. That might mean that you felt really, really relaxed and you were concentrated in the moment. So I want you to think about how you felt during that meditation. So did you feel relaxed, or did you feel a little bit uncomfortable? And was there anything that you really liked as I was reading it to you? Or was it difficult? Did you notice anything interesting happening to your mind or your body? For example, maybe your shoulders began to relax, your hands were less stiff. And if this is your first meditation, I just want to remind you to stay open and accepting to the experience, because each time we get to come together and use our imagination, and it could be a whole nother experience. You might grow to enjoy it more, and feel more relaxed each time we come together. Okay, so now we're going to transition over to our art portion. And from our meditation, a big part about this kingdom was that people were telling us how awesome we were, how smart we were. They were addressing our talents. So for this art, I asked you to bring a rock. So if you're not doing this now, and you're going to come back and do your art, you can always go outside and look for a rock. It really doesn't matter the size of your rock. I actually have a few different sizes with me. So this is the one that I did the other day. It's small and it has the word brave on it, because when I did this meditation, I heard people in the kingdom telling me that I was brave. They were saying, you are brave. So I wanted to write that down and remember it. So sometimes I might not always be hearing the people in my kingdom, reminding me of my talents. So I wanted to have a rock that would remind me of my special talent. So I personally decided to put my rock on my desk, because that's something that I always sit down on and I like to look at it, and it makes me really happy and it reminds me of my special talent. And I know that I'm brave, so when I go to school or when I'm hanging out with friends, it's a great reminder to think of how special I truly am. So this was the one rock I did. It's really small and this one's flat. So if you have a flatter rock, I recommend it if you're going to be writing on it. And that's totally optional. You could also do a drawing. So for example, I might choose to draw a bird. For me, when I see a bird, that reminds me of my family. So that's another thing that, again, sparks joy, and it's a reminder of how special my family is to me. It's not necessarily a talent, but it's something that makes me happy. So that was a small rock that I just showed you. I also have these really, really large rocks. Actually, they might not be that big, depending on what you want to consider a big rock. So they're different shapes, but what's special, again, about this one is that it's flat. So if you're going to be writing on it, I definitely recommend trying to find a rock that has a flat surface. So for this one, I'm going to be choosing this rock, since it has more flat surface on it. So I'm going to kind of change my computer screen and point my camera down so you can see my art. So the first step that I recommend is choosing a light color for your base. And I recommend this if you're going to be writing on it, or if you want to draw a darker object on it, because the lighter the base is, the easier it will be able to see. So I'm just going to shift over my paint. And I probably should have mentioned this, but watercolor paint will obviously not work very well with the rock, because that works better on paper. And this, you might need more thicker paint. It doesn't necessarily have to be acrylic, but it does have to be a thick paint that would be able to cover it. So I'm deciding to use pink. And like I said, I want to make it lighter. So if you ever want to make a color lighter, you can add white, which is what I'm doing here. And then I need to get my paintbrushes. So I personally, when I'm like mixing my paints, I use a bigger paintbrush, but it's really totally up to you. So I'm gonna mix it. It actually kind of reminds me of bubble gum a little bit, but I like it, so I'm gonna do it. Starting to paint. And so the bigger your rock, the more paint you're gonna need. Something to keep in mind. And if you want, you can paint the entire rock, top and bottom, which is what I'm gonna do. Some people just choose to do the top. And another option is also, you don't even have to do a base coat. You could just write straight on it, but it might be a little bit more difficult to see what you have written. And the good thing is, if you ever feel like you messed up or you don't feel like you really like your rock, the good thing is you can always go outside and check it. Not check it, get another rock. I need more paint because my rock is very, very large. Pink, where'd my white go? Oh no, there it is. I'm gonna make our music a little louder. So if you do the top and bottom, you might have to let one side dry, but my paint dries really quickly, so I'm just gonna go for it and paint the whole thing. One thing that I think is kind of cool is being able to see like the rock a little bit through the paint. It doesn't have to be fully covered, but again, totally up to you. I just think I like the way it looks. Okay, I need a little bit more pink paint. I had another idea. I think, so say you were to have a smaller rock and bring it like in your backpack to school or something, and you were to write a talent, you could always, show your friends and be like, oh, look at my cool rock. And that's one way to maybe share a special talent that you have. And it could be a talent that your friends might not have realized that you had. And they might be inspired to also make their own rock as well. Okay, just a little bit more pink. Fix my camera. Okay. Okay, so this is what it looks like fully covered. You can kind of see the rock through it, as I mentioned, which is what I liked. If you want, you could use the bottom of your paintbrush and maybe like go through like those little dots if you really want it to be fully covered. And I would say that this is a relatively light color pink. I said it reminded me of bubble gum, but the lighter, the easier it is to read what you have to say on your rock. Okay. So next step is I'm personally going to use black to write on my rock because, again, it'll be easier to see the writing on it. So I'm gonna squirt a little in my tray. So I'm trying to think of what I want to write on my rock because I have one that says brave on it already, and I really do think that is a special talent of mine, but this one's bigger. So I think I'm gonna write hope because I really think that I'm very hopeful and I can spread my hope to others. But now I'm thinking I'm gonna change it one more time. I'm gonna do joy because I think I'm joyful and my joy brings others happiness and laughter. So we're going with joy. But if I wanted to, I could always do another rock and write hope. So I have my black ready to go. And this is a trick. So I asked you all to have paintbrushes. You could use whatever tool you feel most comfortable with. If you want to write on it, I would use the bottom of your paintbrush if you want to be more precise. Because if you're going to use this end, it's a little bit more difficult to write. So that's what I'm going to do. And if you have a pen or pencil, that might be another way to assist you with this craft, because you can actually just write on it lightly. You're saying your phrase, your talent, and you can trace over that with the paint. So I think I'm going to do that first. So I'll show you guys. So, and my rock is relatively dry. It's still a little damp, but that's okay. I can still paint over it. So I'm doing J. Okay, so I just lightly traced it with the pen. I'll show you guys. It might be a little bit difficult to see because it's light. And so now I'm going to use the bottom of my paintbrush right here. And I don't want too much paint on the bottom because if it's a lot and super thick, again, it's going to be hard to write. And same thing goes if you're going to do a design or a drawing, like I said before. So you really want to take your time with this. Another tip. I feel like I'm giving you guys so many tips, but ideas are coming to my head as I'm painting, is if you have like a pencil that you don't care about that much and your parents give you approval, you can dip the pencil into the paint, which is what I'm doing right now. Just because I was using the bottom and it was getting kind of in the cracks of my rock, and I didn't really like the way it looked. But I didn't have that problem when I had the more flat rock when I made the Brave one the other day. So I think it really, really depends on the texture of your rock. Okay, I finally finished my J, and I like the way it looks. So I'm trying to think of other words that you guys could use. And it doesn't have to be a talent or something that you think you do well necessarily. I think what makes this project so special is that it's something that you can always look down on. And it serves as a reminder. Like, I think one thing maybe I would do next time is to write friends, because I'm so grateful for them. And anytime I get to see them, I'm very, very happy. So I'm still writing my letters, but if you guys want, you can, so this is what it looks like right now, but you can, on the base part, not where you wrote or drew your photo, you can actually make a design. So that design could be polka dots, it could be stripes, whatever really comes to mind. Almost dropped my paint. Okay, so I'm gonna go over my letters with another coat just to make it a little bit darker. And now I'm gonna put my pencil down and go back to my paintbrush because I can make it a little bit thicker with this. And if you ever mess up, you can always grab a paper towel too and lightly dab it. Sometimes that helps, or even a Q-tip. Okay, so let me just finish my Y. Okay, so this is officially what my letters look like. And I just realized, I think it might come up backwards for you guys looking on the camera because it's kind of like a mirror, but it says joy. Maybe if I flip it, I don't know. Oh no, it does. It comes up normal. Okay, good. So it says joy. And now I'm debating. I really, really like the simplicity of mine. So I'm debating if I want to add a design, but I think I'm going to. And again, the trick is to go with a darker color, so that way you can see it more clearly. And for me, the bottom of my paintbrush is a perfect circle. So I think that would be great for polka dots. So I'm gonna dip that into my paint. And I think I'm gonna stick with black because I'm really liking the way the black and the pink look together. So I'll show you guys a little bit more clearly. So I'm dipping it in. So it's fully covered on the bottom of my paintbrush, and I'm just gonna start dabbing. Seems like I need a little bit more paint, so I'm gonna go for it. And I think I'm actually gonna switch and do it with my paintbrush, the normal part. And I actually have a few different sizes of paintbrushes, so I'll show you. This is the smallest, which is really good for doing designs, especially these two, the ones that have like the sharper angle to them. You can get a lot more precise. Like this would be good if you're gonna be doing like stripes. And then I like the bigger ones to do the base, which was the pink shade that I did. So I'm gonna keep finishing my dots this way. Dot, dot. I'm trying to spread them out as much as I can. So if you were to choose like a color like white, I would definitely recommend using acrylic paint for that, because that you could totally do on the rock. It just needs to be a thicker, like an extra thicker paint. So you could also do the bottom of your rock, but I'm choosing not to because I really like just the polka dots on the top part. So yeah, that is officially my final product. So I have the Joy one that I can always look at, my smaller Brave one, which I think would be great if I were gonna put it in my backpack, because this one is a little bit heavy, so might be a little bit of a workout bringing this one to school with me. So yeah, I hope you all feel a little bit more relaxed from our meditation, and maybe you'll continue to do some deep breathing throughout the day whenever you just kind of, want to take a moment for yourself and calm down. And I really hope you enjoy the rock that you created. So if you create a rock, make sure you share it with us, get your play online, and comment below with your photos. We're really looking forward to seeing them. And yeah, so thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had fun. Bye, guys.